Okay, we've got two Patricks coming up now. The first one just killed me, almost literally. We shook hands and my hand died. You know a man with a handshake where he takes it a little bit too far? Huh? But he's a strong man. He's a strong man. He's the vice president of Amazon Pay. It's the payment services part of Amazon for third-party merchants globally. That's the division that he leads. He's a 20-year veteran of the payments and e-commerce industry, most recently at PayPal. He holds a very long list of board positions that he's covered here over the last many years. And the session itself is focusing on delivering for the connected consumer in the new era of commerce. Welcome to Patrick Gauthier.
Stand up on my shoulders, tell me what you see. 'Cause I am giant. We'll be breaking borders underneath our feet.
Good afternoon. It's really an honor to be here this afternoon, and I thank you all for sharing your time with me. You could be outside enjoying the sun, right, on the beach or on the canal. So I really appreciate you spending the time. I'm going to talk today about something radically new happening in commerce associated with voice. Before I go there, anyone in the room happens to be a Star Trek fan? There's a few, usually a little more in the US. So here's the reason why I point this out. 50 years ago, a little more than 50 years ago, Captain Kirk and his crew showed us a world where technology allowed humans to go boldly where nowhere had gone before. And in the process, they shared a few interesting devices. There was the communicator, which today we would think of as a cell phone. There was the tricorder, which today we would think of maybe as a smartphone, maybe as a tablet. And of course, there was the ever-present computer that you could talk to. So what's interesting is today, what used to be science fiction is becoming absolutely real. And I want in particular to focus on what's happening with voice. Now, to kind of take stock of the opportunity, it's a bit useful to take a look at the arc of commerce over the last 20 years. What have we collectively been doing? We first made commerce available around the clock. Then we moved it to wherever mobile services were available. And now, we're basically starting to free ourselves from the limitation of any single device by going to something that is far more natural. Now, make no mistake, it is happening. In the last 3 years, consumers have bought more than 100 million devices that are Alexa-powered. They're accessing more than 90,000 skills that are developed by thousands of developers. And we're every day seeing more different applications that range from smart homes to smart cars to smart appliances to a variety of ways in which consumers entertain themselves. Now, what's important with voice, and if you can bear with me, I'm using voice as a proxy. And let me explain the proxy for what. After all, you've had voice commands in cars for 10, 15 years. 15 years ago, it was actually quite ironic. You'd have to repeat yourself quite a lot. But today, voice comes with understanding. The real change that has occurred over the last 4 years, roughly, is the introduction of AI to not only understand the voice, but to understand the intent of the speaker. And this opens up an opportunity to change not one or two, but three really important things, which is to make the interaction with the consumer more natural, more contextual, and more trusted. So let me walk you through how. So natural. What is more natural than the spoken word? I mean, if you think of the history of computers, we type, then we click, then we touch, then we swipe. All of these required the customer to learn something that was related to that particular device, that particular OS. Voice is natural. Voice is what we use every day. In 2018, we had tens of billions of utterances, incremental utterances on Alexa compared to 2017, and the path is accelerating. People are starting to use voice assistant to do a range of things, from checking on the weather to reordering products to organizing their day. Now, why is that happening? So here's an interesting fact for you. If you're a good typer, you can type between 65 and 75 words per minute. However, you can speak between 125 and 150 words per minute. Voice is not only natural, it's just faster. It really addresses a need for people to do more in ever so less time. Now, when we've asked consumers if this really mattered, and we've just finished a worldwide set of research, and in Europe, we found that 28% of consumers were saying they were likely to make a purchase using voice in the next 3 years. 28% is saying that innovators and early adopters have already made in their mind the transition. They're already there. A lot of us are catching up with the desires of the consumers. So they're already assuming that this natural way of interaction is going to be present. Now, how's that going to happen? We talk natural, but in order to deliver something that is natural, contextual really matters. Let me give you an example. If I was to ask Alexa, please buy me a ticket to go see Godzilla, I would expect it to know which are the movie theaters around me. Because if I have to go through a list of movie theater, that totally destroys the very essence of what I was trying to do to be natural. So in other words, to deliver an experience that meets the customer's expectation, we have to understand their context. This is a really important transition. In the last 10 years, 15 years, all of us have been worrying about keyword relevancy, right? In the next 10 years, I submit to you that the focus will be on contextual relevancy. Do I understand the context in which my customer is operating? Do I understand her intent? And can I deliver that in a natural way? The same research that I just mentioned, we found something interesting. 23% of consumers, roughly 1 in 4, told us that one of the things that attracted them the most was the ability to transact in the moment, in the context. Now, there were other attributes such as trusted and simple and fast, but in the moment was unique to this particular medium. In the moment means I don't have to go find the device, open the device, type in the URL, or start the app and fight with the fingerprint reader, or remember the password and go back because I need to reset it. In the moment means I don't have to set up an appointment with myself to do it later. In the moment means it's simple. In the moment means also we can engage them on their terms. I'll submit that when the history of this phase of commerce is written, we will find out that being able to interact with consumers in the moment will actually be the killer application. Now, none of this is possible without trust. Without trust, there's no relationship. Without relationship, a business is on a fast path to commoditization. It's especially true when we talk about technology. There's everyday news about concerns over privacy or data breaches and so on. To deliver a technologically powered commerce today requires us to be particularly attentive to trust. What we found in our research is that when trust is delivered, roughly 1 in 5 consumers are telling us they're willing to entrust their money to a smart assistant. 1 in 5. I mean, this tells me that there's something fundamental that is happening, a door that is opening, and that the future is actually quite bright. But to deliver that, we absolutely must not compromise on trust. When we protect the data of our customers, they tell us 2 out of 3 that they will do more business with us. When we don't, they tell us they'll walk away. Trust, more than anything that I can think of, is pivotal to the adoption of new technology, as well as the creation of the type of relationship that we're all looking for. So how are we going about doing this? I just told you, trust is important. At Amazon, as a matter of fact, the worst thing that something, a product or feature can be called is trust busting. That means dustbin. We believe trust of our customers is the most important asset we have, and it's one that we need to nurture every day, that we need to pay attention to every day. So when we created Amazon Pay, it was all about trust. We have a capital of trust with over 300 million customers in 170 countries that are using their information that they've entrusted with Amazon to buy from other merchants, to buy whatever they love, wherever they find it. We've built it to support a range of medium, from web to mobile to store to connected TVs to connected cars, and also voice. We've embedded it in the Alexa Skill Kit in order to develop commerce application. And we have a number of merchants that have done this here in Europe, London Theatre Direct, or Sun Express, or Trenitalia are just example. But we also believe we need to go beyond just the act of purchasing, to deliver a more end-to-end experience to the connected consumer. So to do that, we have just launched a universal buyer identification. The point of a buyer identification is to deliver a token that is unique to a merchant, that allows a merchant to leverage their CRM system to provide continuity in the customer experience. 46% of customers tell us they expect merchants to carry on the conversation with them across multiple touch points. Many of you have built technology and know that the web stack is here, the store stack is here, the mobile stack is here, the whatever next stack is here. And to make those interact in a way that is customer friendly is actually hard, unless you can recognize her and carry on from wherever she left in the last touch point. And that's what we've done with Universal Buyer ID. Now, example of how it could be used: I use Alexa to put something on my wish list or on my shopping cart. I pick it up on the web. Or I bought something, whether in store or on the web, and then I reorder it because it's a fairly simple thing to do. Those are just thought starters of what we can do with a buyer ID. Second thing we just introduced is the ability for Amazon Pay merchants to connect with the notification system of Alexa. And our first use case is delivery. Now, why did we pick delivery? In the US, 42% of customers tell us that they would like to use Alexa to inquire about the status of delivery. It's 37% in Europe. It is the #1 use case that consumers would like to go after today. We call it, where's my stuff? Where's my stuff is really important when you've ordered and you're waiting for it, or when you ordered and the package might be on the front door in the street. By connecting merchants to the Alexa notification system, we enable them to engage with the customer on the customer's term, but inside of their house and in the moment. Now, we recognize at Amazon that no matter how much we build, there's no one that can deliver a complete solution for customers without working with others. And we are constantly partnering with other companies. There's a couple that I'd like to call out as they are embarking with us on this path to really make voice available for commerce. One of them is BigCommerce, and BigCommerce is going to enable all their merchants to take advantage of the capabilities we're building with Alexa. And another one is WorldPay, who's facilitating payments and making payment operation for their merchants easier by integrating Amazon Pay and the capabilities we're building into their stack. Now, in conclusion, let me leave you with one simple thought. Knowledge has a flywheel of its own. To learn, you need to desire to learn. To learn, you need to experiment. You need to fail. You need to succeed. You cannot learn by sitting on the sideline. So the thought that I want to leave you with is, what are you doing today to understand how to create the right experience for your customers, leveraging the AI behind voice to create an experience that is more natural, more contextual, and more trusted? If you want to invent the future, come see us. Thank you. Thank you very much.